Hey guys, welcome to the after party. I think it's working. I gotta check. It never tells me right away. I always have to reload it. All right, let's see. Yeah, I knew it. Okay, I knew it. I'm live. Yes. All right, welcome. Um, yeah, that was the video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're watching the replay, the video is pinned in the comments. It's pinned in the chat. I just spent 6 weeks working on it. I probably was working on it for the first 3 weeks. I was just writing and rewriting and moving things around, and yeah, I just kept working on it. And then I do everything. I do the editing, I do the shooting, I do the writing, I do the release, the thumbnails. I'm doing everything for the YouTube video. So finally got it finished today. Basically, I mean, I did the thumbnail last, and it was just a ton of work. And I mean, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. My only concern is the music was a little loud. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Um, I was really excited about the music yesterday because I found this artist and I was like, I'm gonna just use this guy's music to keep like a consistent theme. But it's very powerful music, so sometimes I was like, it was a little bit fighting with the video. But so if I could go back, maybe I would change that. But I don't know. I felt like if I changed anything else, I was gonna have to wait another week to release it, and I was gonna lose my mind. I need a break. I'm gonna like fast and meditate for 3 straight days soon. After this weekend, probably I gotta hang out and see people, and then Monday, maybe Monday through Wednesday, I'm gonna fast and meditate, and I'm not gonna do anything, and I'm not gonna look at any screens. It's gonna be great. Didn't notice the music being loud. Okay, that's really good to hear. I'm glad to hear that because I was kind of self conscious about that when it started. I was like, oh man, this music is a little much, isn't it? But if maybe it's just because I had heard it so many times. When you're editing a video, when you make a video and then you edit it, you end up watching it like 1,000 times, and so it has this like numbing effect where you're just like you're sick of it. You don't want to hear it anymore. So you guys got to watch it for the first time ever. I'm jealous because I will never get to watch it again for the first time ever. I never actually got to watch it for the first time ever. That's something that the creator never gets to do because, um, yeah, as you're working the final masterpiece, when it's done, you don't even want to watch it. You're just like, I don't want to see any of this ever again. I've had it. All right, I realize I don't have the chat on the screen. Let's put the chat up. Hey, we got a lot of people in here. This is fun. Hi, Eleanor, Yale, and Praise Christ Yoga, and Ian. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the post watch party. I do not have anything prepared. Okay, let's be clear about that one. I do not have anything prepared for this stream. Luckily, it's a shorter one. I think we'll quit at 4. I'm taking a break, like I mentioned before. But I want to read the chats. Let's see. Yale says, "Yep, you're up. Thank you." Yeah, you know, YouTube does not have a good way of telling me. I gotta find another thing, or just assume that I'm live. Instead of checking, because it kind of ruins my flow at the beginning of every stream. I'm like, am I live? So I don't know. Whatever. I'll figure that out someday. I Ching reading, sure. Yeah, that'd be fun. Another idea I had was I wanted to share with you upcoming ideas that I have. Um, and see which ones you guys think are really interesting. I think my next edited video is probably going to be entitled something like Why You Should Be Rich Following the Way of Service. Why you should get rich following the way of service. And it's kind of going to be about how you shouldn't feel guilty making money, following your path and your passion, and some of the reasons about that. Um, I also want to do one more specifically about the manifestation topic because I think that's really popular in the. How's my volume, by the way? Maybe I'll turn it up a little bit here. Um, yeah, manifestation is really popular in the spiritual world, and I think a lot of people are doing it wrong because they're trying to, force it. They're trying to, like I said in the video, they're trying to create something selfish. They're trying to not do work. They're trying to like avoid the world kind of. And I feel like I want to address those misconceptions directly. Um, but you guys are excited about an I Ching reading. Okay. Let's see. I'm sure you watched it 100 times. Yeah, exactly. I did. I watched it 100 times. It took me off. Then I had to rejoin for live. Don't overthink. It was perfect. Thank you, Praise Christ Yoga. Thank you. Didn't see the premiere, but you're so handsome. Thank you, Eleanor. Um, I was told the difference between millionaires and billionaires is billionaires study the stars. That is fascinating. I actually the synchronicity of that of what you just said, because I'm rereading Yogananda's book, Autobiography of a Yogi. That's another thing I kind of want to do a video about is Yogananda and his book Autobiography of a Yogi. If you haven't read it, it's fantastic. It was like a core book in my spiritual journey that I like forgot existed, and it's just so fantastic. And I understand it so much more. I'm reading it now, probably at least 10, maybe 15 years after I read it the first time, and just I mean Yogananda's story. Literally, there's a miracle every like 3 pages. He describes a miracle. So, anyways, the synchronicity, praise Christ Yoga, is um. And what should I call you, praise Christ Yoga? Because it's kind of long. Should I call you PCY, or should I call you Praise Christ? Maybe I'll go with that for now. You let me know in the chat. But the chapter I just read was about astrology, and the main character Yogananda is going through his life. He's in college now. He's with his spiritual guru that he's been studying with for years. And after years of study with his guru gives him an astrological amulet and describes to him the reason that he should wear an amulet made of, I think it was pure gold and lead, or maybe it was silver and lead. But he specifically described it, and because of astrology, the effects of the stars. And his guru was like, the stars are coming into an unfavorable time for you. Wear this amulet to protect yourself. And he describes, he's like, this was all brand new to me. I always thought astrology was just bunk. And he'd been a spiritual seeker his entire life. So he's like, 21, and it's his news to him. So yeah, the study of the stars it seems like it's very advanced. And I don't pretend to understand it. I just know that it does have an effect. I think that's the most important thing. We've been told the traditional, the mainstream, as I described in the video, and this is going to be a theme in the way of service, is what is the mainstream view. It's usually pretty wrong, or at least hopefully it'll change in our lifetimes. We'll watch it change. I really hope that's true, but for now the mainstream view is atheist. Like if you read CNN or if you read mainstream news or whatever, things are presented in an atheist way. There's no description of synchronicity or God or spirit. They pretend it doesn't exist, right? So what were we just talking about? Oh yeah, the astrology. So I feel like the narrative on astrology is, it's just kooky. It's woo woo. It doesn't mean anything. It means something, that's for sure, in my opinion. The stars have some effect on our lives. The planets have an effect. The sun and the moon have big effects. The earth has a big effect. All of these things are going through rhythms. There's energy moving out from the stars and the sun and the earth and the moon, and they affect us. And it's better for us to understand what those effects are and try to deal with them as opposed to just pretending they don't exist, but that serves their purpose. If you don't know, as Mark Passio said at the beginning of the video, right? If you don't know about the stars, they can use their knowledge of the stars against you because you have refused to look at it, and they're off studying it and not telling you about it. And then since you don't know about it, it's easy to use that to their advantage, right? Call me Heidi. Okay, I will call you Heidi from now on. Susan says it was a great video, lots of work, honing your skills. Thank you, Susan. I hope it's a good video in general and not just because it helped me hone my skills of making a video. I don't know if I'll reach that point anytime soon, right? It's like you want to be a master of the thing you're doing right away. Like I want to be a master making YouTube videos, and I don't want to do any disservice or discredit to the subject matter that I'm talking about. Hey, 333. I was like, I wonder what time it is. It's 333. That's going to happen most what was I saying? Oh yeah, I want to master the craft and have. Yeah, I want every video to deliver because there's and I've realized I'll probably have to cover a lot of these topics many times. So no one video is gonna be like, oh, if that one didn't land this message, then it's done. The message is done. It's like no, I'm gonna have to repeat messages in a lot of different videos and get things across in 100 different ways. So it's not a big deal. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself, especially when you spend 6 weeks doing something. You're like, this better be the one that does it. It's gonna be the video that goes viral, and then all gonna change. It's like, it's all right, calm down. Like, it's okay. We made a good video. Let's keep going. That's how it is. After a break, I'm taking a break for a few days. Eleanor says, can confirm Yogananda's autobio is inspirational, but also a fun read. Yeah, it's written fantastic. I mean, like, there's vocab in that book and he's from India. He's writing in English. That's what. So if you don't know who Yogananda is, he basically brought yoga to the West, and that's what his autobiography is about. It's his journey, and he starts with he remembers his past lives of being a yogi in the Himalayas, and just like from birth, he knew that he was going to be a yogi, and he just goes through what happened and all of the things that he faced and all the challenges, and it's written so well, and it's written intelligently, and it's just, I mean, I challenge you to find a better book. And I will tell you another great fact about it. It's the #1 best-selling autobiography of all time, okay? So I feel like that tells you all you need to know. Heidi says, sure, call me Heidi, exactly. Share book link to Amazon I want to get. Okay, yeah. You know what? This book is too good to not talk about a little more, okay? Let's clear this out. Okay. There we go. I have so many windows open. I'm totally unprepared for this live stream, okay? So just take it easy on me. All right. Let's go to Amazon. Let's go to Yogananda. He's the best. There he is. Let's shrink this down. Put this right here. Autobiography of Yogi. Fantastic book. Incredible. Let's see if I can get the link. Here we go. Link. And it's in the chat. Boom. There we go. Great book. Let's see. Share book link to Amazon. Yale says, I used to kind of reject astrology, but it's also like a lot of other things. When so many groups seem to take it seriously, then you can assume maybe something is there. Right. Yeah. I mean, astrology is in every single culture, for sure. And there are so many different ways of approaching astrology. So, yeah, again, I don't pretend to understand it, but I think it's very clear that the stars and the sun and the moon and the planets have way more effect on us than any of us realize. So it's part of the fractal nature of the universe. Like, if it's there, it serves a purpose. I mentioned that in the video. Like, the fact that you exist means that God thinks you need to exist just as much as the sun needs to exist. Every part of creation is important. So the stars are not meaningless, obviously. Heidi says, your videos and live sessions have helped me align with my purpose. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Heidi, for saying that. That is exactly why I'm doing it, is so that people say what you just said. So I hope that's true for you and for others as well. And if it is, click the like and subscribe button. Oh my goodness. It's pretty fun being a YouTuber, I will admit. But it has its challenges, right? I'd rather be hanging out with you in person. We'll have to do that someday. Maybe we'll have a way of service meetup at some point. And everybody will get together, and that'll be a lot of fun. All right, we got 20 minutes left. What do you guys want to do? I Ching reading? I think that was the most popular answer. I think my wife stole my I Ching. I'm going to have to use a different one. That's okay. We use that other one so much, so maybe it'll be more fun to use this one. I'm gonna go get it. Okay. Don't close the stream just because Danny disappears. I'm still here. I'm still here. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. This lady actually calls her book Tao Oracle, which is very interesting. But this is a really cool I Ching. I like this one. It's a little bit more esoteric than the last one we used, which was more philosophical. I think that one is my favorite, the Brian Brown Walker version. But as we've used it so many times, I think we can stand to try something else. I need a pen. Okay, here we go. All right, I Ching reading. Before we do I Ching reading, okay, we got to figure out, well, what are we asking? What is the purpose of this reading? I guess the first thing that comes to mind is like, well, I guess the first thing is like, what is that video? What is that video going to do? Like, what is the video doing now? What is it going to do? That's a pretty cool question. But maybe that's just what I want to ask. Does anybody in the chat have a burning question? We can ask for you. But it'll have to be a public question. So, sometimes people can be shy. They don't want to share the... And the I Ching is going to answer what is on your heart. So it's usually a pretty personal question. I'll give you guys a second. What do you think? Should we just ask about the video and maybe the way of service, the status of the way of service? Like a gut check? Or should we could just ask a vague question like, what do we need to know now? And just let the I Ching tell us what we need to know. That's usually what I ask. So in the chat, I see you guys are saying, Yale says, I wish I had a good question. So when you don't have a good question, but you want to talk to the I Ching, you ask that question. And I feel like that's almost the best question usually to ask. Maybe that's just what we'll do. What do we need to know now? What do we need to know now? I think that's what we'll go with. Let's do it. All right. What is today? It's the 25th. I like this date for some reason. 4/25/25. Feels very, very important. Like an important day. I'm kind of making that up, but maybe that's the astrology thing, right? All right. What do we need to know now? There's a question. Put in there. Oh, this thing doesn't autofocus. You see over here. It's the perfect date. Huh? I guess so. All right. So for those of you who have never done the I Ching reading, we just toss these coins 6 times, and it gives us one of 64 hexagrams. There's actually 4,100 possible outcomes, but there's 64 hexagrams. All right, first one is yin line. Yin line. I think I remember that. Did I see Miss Congeniality? I think I did. Heidi says, it's in Miss Congeniality as the perfect date, April 25th. That's very interesting. I think it's true. It's the perfect date. I like that. That's pretty cool. All right, sorry. We'll do the second cast, and I'll read some more chats. Oh, yin again. Yin again. 2 yin lines so far. Is it going to tell me just pure yin, as in, like, don't do anything? Just relax? That's what I wanted to tell me. Yale, so I want to go back. Yale says, can you give me thoughts on my idea of belief in God is the smallest leap of faith you can take? We'll have to come back to that one, Yale. Let's finish this I Ching reading. Whoa, yin. So that's 3 yin lines, not changing. So that is the earth. The earth hexagram. Or trigram, sorry. Earth trigram. Oh, but now we got a yang line. Interesting. Focus on your question. What do we need to know now? What do you need to know now? What do I need to know now? Ooh, yang again, but this time a changing yang line. So we are getting a changing hexagram now. So we get 2 because we did have a changing line. So I'm going to draw all the lines again. Okay, and one more coin toss. Eleanor says, pure yin sounds so nice, like having a beer and go for a swim. Shit. Shit, man. Shit. Yang. All right, yang it up. Wow, so I remember this hexagram. My wife got this hexagram, the first one. Heaven over earth. I think it's like stagnation or something. But it's changing. So stagnation changing into something else. We'll have to find out what the something else is. The next one is fire over earth. So heaven over earth into fire over earth. I'm looking at this chart to figure it out. It's a nice colorful chart. So 12. That's right, yeah. 12. I'm pretty sure it's stagnation. But it might be something else in this book. We'll find out. And then fire over earth is 35. 35. And number 35 is, I want to know. Before I read 12, I want to find out what 35 is. Progress. Oh, I love it. Yes. I was like, this is going to be good news. It's like stagnation into progress. How about that? That's how I feel. I was like, I got to get this video out. I can't wait another week. Stagnation was setting in. And now it's progress. Beautiful. Now we get to just read it. We'll read stagnation first. Maybe this in this book it's called Standstill. The time of standstill arises when all that was once humming along seems to grind to a halt. Suddenly, and for no apparent reason, doors of communication are closed and progress seems impossible on any front. One thing is said, another is heard. Difficulties and delays pile up to the point of paralysis, and finally it's impossible to know how or even to proceed, or even if to proceed. It's like trying to shovel snow in a blizzard. However diligently, you try to restore the sidewalks to their pristine pre-blizzard condition. The pesky white stuff keeps piling up, and you're finally so exhausted you can't go on. These outer circumstances can also provoke an inner crisis and leave you feeling as though you have failed somehow, or that life has forgotten about you. Feelings of disorientation can arise, as the plug seems to have been pulled on so much of what you assumed would continue along a track you had so recently had all mapped out and under control. I felt that way about making videos every week. You know, as a YouTuber, you're supposed to make a video every week. Every week, you gotta put another one out. And, you know, I did some reflecting and thinking about this, and I think my content does not need to be rapid fired like that, you know? That's like the general advice for everybody on YouTube. And there's so many people doing entertainment and like travel blogs or whatever it is, you know, and for them, they got to and I want to get it out as often as possible, but then 6 weeks went by and I was kind of like, I have to let go of this idea that I'm behind because it was making me really anxious. I was in this anxious state for like maybe 3 weeks of like, oh my God, I got to get a video out. And finally I was like, you know what? This is the video I'm working on. It's going to take as long as it's going to take. And then I will release it when it's done. Right. All right, back to the reading. Oh, we got a couple chats. Yale says, remember, it's not set in stone how often you put out videos. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not it's not like I have a deadline, right? It's not like I have people that are waiting on me. So, I mean, maybe you guys are kind of waiting on me, and you'll be waiting on me in live streams. If I say that there's going to be a live stream, I got to show up, you know? But and the live streams have been a great boon for that. You know, it's as far as putting out a video every week. I mean, I'm putting out 90 minutes of content every week in the live streams, so I feel pretty good about that. And also, you know, realizing that that takes time too, so I can't get stressed out that I'm not finishing the edited videos. Oh, Heidi was waiting. Yeah, I know you were, Heidi. I know. I mean, so was I. So was I. I was waiting. I was waiting to be done. I was like, I can't believe I'm not done yet. You could do it like this now and always change it later. Right. Eleanor says on 12, being about gardening, it's pretty amazing how the reading can speak to each of us specifically and individually. I know. I know. That's the thousands of year old ancient wisdom coming out of this book, right? And it's very simple advice. You know, Lao Tzu says in the Wahoo Ching about the I Ching, study of the I Ching is the most important for the beginner. And basically, this is kind of like astrology, I believe. It's like you're tapping into what is the moment, what is the yin and yang moment, and it's almost like we all experience it at the same time. So when we do an I Ching reading, it's telling us all what we need to hear because we're all kind of experiencing the same thing. I mean, maybe that's one of the big lessons from the I Ching and from this study, and that's what Carl Jung's foreword in the I Ching was about. It was about how, you know, casting the coin is tapping into the collective unconscious and synchronicity. So, anyways, Yale says, I feel like people put too much pressure on themselves regarding decisions that are not permanent. Not just you, but in general. Yeah. It's like once you make a decision, you think you have to stick to it. It's like nobody but you cares. You know, it's like nobody else is thinking about you and your decisions. Like, so make the decision that's best for you and that makes sense. And change your mind based on new data. You know, if you're living life, you're getting new experience, you're getting new wisdom, there's things you need to change. So change them. Or don't change them, right? Heidi says it went out at the perfect time. That was another thing that gave me the most solace, Heidi, what you just said. I was like, you know what? Maybe it needs to be delayed. For whatever reason, it's going to be better to be released on the perfect day, the perfect date. So I had to wait for the perfect date, literally, to release the video. Eleanor says, does this reading speak to anyone else? And Heidi says, yes. Susan says, I saw the snowplow coming. What? Are you talking about the reference in the book? Well, let's continue reading. I've reached the end of chat for now. We only have 8 minutes, but I feel like I'm going to go long. I feel like it's a party. You can't just end on time in a party. So we'll go at least to 4:10. Probably not much later than that. All right. Because I want to finish reading this reading for you guys. Let's see, where were we? Okay, feelings of disorientation can arise as the plug seems to have been pulled on so much of what you assumed would continue along a track you had so recently had all mapped out and under control. To the extent that you have linked your identity with that hum gone so suddenly silent, it can challenge your very notions of who you are. The current impasse may be operating on many levels simultaneously, so it's important not to get it snowed under by self-doubt or depression. From a different perspective that might not be apparent right now, the entire dynamic of life is unfolding to perfection. That's what we were just saying. It's just that it's not what you had hoped for or expected. In times like this, the best course is to take care on a fundamental level of the little things that are in need of maintenance, attention, or in some cases, elimination. This also applies to doing, being, relating, and thinking. Different ways of doing, being, relating, and thinking. Let me reread that because I want to make it clear. I think this is this is the advice. In times like this, the best course is to take care on a fundamental level of all the little things that are in need of maintenance, attention, or in some cases, elimination. This also applies to ways of doing, being, relating, and thinking. Any attempt to hang in there out of duty or because you don't know what else to do will not be helpful in this time. It is time to stop and see that the only result of your spinning wheels is to bury yourself deeper in snow. Susan says, I see the snowplow coming and covering up the driveway I just shoveled. Yeah, exactly. That is accurate for this one. Creative work can still happen when there's a freeze on, but it happens in an atmosphere of peaceful and cozy retreat. It's an ideal time to take a break, turn your focus inward, and become attentive to all the little intimate things that contribute to your inner strength and nourish your sense of well-being. If you've been hoping for some miracle or miracle worker to come along and change things, recognize that this hope is just another way of being stuck. Wow, good stuff. By doing your part to melt the ice from within and restore the connection with your trust in life, you will be giving yourself a much-needed rest from useless struggle. And as a bonus, you will also be preparing yourself to emerge when the time is right, already in tune with the spring thaw that is bound to come. All right. So I got to close something. It's going to interrupt the stream if I don't do it. So I got to close it now. There we go. I hope you guys enjoy that reading. I think that was very powerful and accurate. I like the idea of being in an atmosphere of peaceful and cozy retreat. I like that. Sounds like something I got to do. So in this one, we got the changing fifth line. So this is specific to our situation. Let's read this one. As soon as the situation starts to loosen up, it will be clear that the wait was worth it. Nice. But when it happens, better to proceed with alertness and caution than to rush right into the breach, trailing your enthusiasm and relief. New times need solid foundations, and solid foundations can be built joyously. Still, they are built one brick at a time. That's so auspicious. I love it. Eleanor says, can you somehow share a picture of that page so we can hold on to it and read it again later? I don't know. I can post it on Facebook. I can post it on the YouTube channel page. I'm not really sure how to do that. I don't have the equipment to take a picture of it right now, unfortunately. But you can also, once this is finished uploading in a day or two, you can check the transcript and you can copy the text. But I guess I was reading chats in the middle, so that's maybe not the best way to do it. Okay. It's almost 4. It's page number 84 in the Tao Oracle by Ma Deva Padma. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Page 84. Stand still. Yeah, I can put it on the Discord. Yeah, I can put a picture in the Discord too. No problem. It'll have to be after the stream, because my phone is is filming me right now. I can't post it here right now. I can post maybe a link But yeah, you can join the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, you can chat with us all the time. We're always in there. Those chats, I love Discord. It's a really chill, nice place to hang out. So join the Discord, and then I will post the picture. All right, let's get to these. Let's get to the other hexagram, progress, because that's going to be pretty exciting. The second hexagram is like where you're headed. The first one is like where you are, and the second hexagram is like where you're headed. Number 35. Progress. Page 176. There is an old saying, in the bright light of day, all things become known. Circumstances are accelerating toward that illuminated zenith now. The outlook is brighter, and all signs point towards an increasingly more rapid progression of events. It is also true that I'm getting goosebumps. It is also true that the brightening light of day represents expanded awareness that is revelatory and exposing. It increases the likelihood of careful scrutiny of our actions and attitudes in many dimensions of life. Anything that was once unknown, unclear, or undercover may now be brought to light. If what has been developing is greater maturity and an increasing spirit of harmony, then there will be no need for concern or guilt in the exposure. When we are sincere and resolute in our approach to life, taking no one for granted, then finding oneself in the spotlight is not a cause for alarm. That's how I feel right now. I feel very relaxed. I feel very satisfied. Even though I'm live, it's a little, sometimes when I'm live, I get a little nervous. If, on the other hand, you have been working behind the scenes to embellish your own reputation or enhance your position at the expense of others, all the manipulations that have gone into such efforts are, under the present circumstances, likely to be exposed. I like that. Because it's like, hey, you follow the way of service, it doesn't matter if the light shines on you. But if you're not following the way of service, you're following the way of the ego, you can have problems, especially right now, because the light of day apparently is going to shine on people who have been, as this says, if you've been working behind the scenes to embellish your own reputation, enhance your position at the expense of others, all the manipulations that have gone into such efforts are likely to be exposed. The ego enjoys letting it be known how hard it has worked to finally achieve a much-deserved and probably long overdue moment of recognition. Yeah, that's how I feel right now. And once it has been sated by the applause, it is often all too ready to start slacking off. An irresponsible or self-involved attitude is driven primarily by the need to impress others with achievements. This is a kind of narcissistic condition that only ever feels okay when others acknowledge its specialness. But indulging this tendency has the unfortunate side effect of diminishing what could otherwise have been a peak moment of opportunity, because you are so involved patting your own back that you lose your sense of timing. Recognizing the timeliness of things requires a single-pointed attentiveness in order to discern the subtle signs of change that support your next move. Yes, I can post an invite for Discord. I will do that. Oh, thank you, Eleanor. Yeah, click the like button, please. Click like, please. All right. Here's an invite. It's coming. It's in the chat. There's a Discord invite. I really like this reading, though. Isn't this a nice reading? I enjoy this. Working in accordance with the time will sharpen your attention and your ability to sidestep the inconsequential. It is wiser to put your energy into increased alertness as soon as a cycle begins to peak. Otherwise, there is a danger that when the opportunity for progress is at its height, you will be snoozing under a shady tree, lulled to sleep by the assumption that you've already done enough and now it's time for a nap. Shit, that's kind of how I feel. I don't get a nap? Okay. I think it's okay. I think you can still take a nap. Just the proverbial nap. Don't take a nap for like a week, Being alert now to the subtle nuances of what is happening around you will help you to stay self-contained and energetically supported by the steadily increasing wave of progress that characterizes this time. The positive effects of your endeavors will be naturally and effortlessly multiplied for one and all. Taking care of the business at hand helps you to keep your feet on the ground, in spite of your being in the limelight. This is not to say that the sweetness of the moment should not be savored. There is no full stop in the journey of life. Rather, the journey itself is the goal. As you can see, this fits perfectly with with my video. I was talking about that in the video. Randa's here. Hey, man. Popping in briefly. Hope everyone is having a happy Friday. We were just talking about that. We are definitely having a happy Friday. I don't know about you, but I am. I just went from stagnation to progress. That's what just happened for me, I feel. Stagnation to progress. Did everybody else feel that? If you felt it, click the like button and mention it in the comments. So it's 4:05. I said I would go to 4:10, but I don't see too many more messages, so I don't know if there's still a bunch of people in here or not. I know Randa's here. Yale's still here. What do you guys think? Sounds like the reading was good for Heidi and Eleanor. It was good for me, that's for sure. Big accuracy for me. Woo! I don't know. I don't know how it could be more accurate. That's usually how it works, right? It's just like there's no way it could be more accurate than that. That's why I love consulting the I Ching. All right. Yale says you enjoyed the reading. Good. I mean, a lot of this stuff it applies to life. It's just good advice, you know? I mean, sometimes it's more poignant than others, but definitely felt that standstill, feeling the progress now. So that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a good time. You guys watched that whole video. Sounds like you enjoyed it. Go leave a comment there if you didn't already. Put a comment. I put a pinned comment in the other video, so go in there and comment, and we can have a lively discussion about the lessons in that video, because I want to know what you guys think. That's one of the things that's missing for me. I get some feedback from you guys here in the live stream, but I am waiting to have some really interesting discussions in the comments and in the Discord and in the coaching business. So that's where I'm at, folks. I also am going to take some time, a couple days, not a long time, but I'm going to take some time to meditate and to fast and to not be looking at screens. And I hope you do the same. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for joining the after party. Thanks for watching the video. I love you guys, and I will see you